Anime has given us a lot of emotions. Joy, excitement, sadness, anger, the list goes on. I've talked about some of the top moments in anime, but I found out that I've yet to make a compilation of the most satisfying moments in anime. Yet these moments are probably not the most hyped ones in the respected series that are chock full of epic scenes, but a lot of them can be contenders, so I digress. So for today, I'll be counting down the top 10 most satisfying moments in anime. It can be the culmination of a training arc, the finale of a moment that's been long built up, a villain who gets what's coming to him, or the redemption of a plucky character who you can't help but cheer for. Basically, it's a compilation of moments that gave some of the biggest payoffs in anime. We start off with a surprisingly tame moment in Bleach at first glance, Ichigo tossing Alzen. When we think Bleach, we think magical swords, over-the-top powers, and reality-warping stuff. It didn't take too long for shonen anime standards to reach that point in Bleach, but this moment is surprisingly tame in relation, because what we have here is no Getsuga Tensho, no Super Kiddo display, just plain Ichigo grabbing Alzen and tossing him away from Karakura town. Leading up to this moment, we've always seen Alzen in one mood: calm and in control. He's been the poster boy for chess master villains in shonen anime at Bleach's peak, and he always seems so calculated and methodical with his plans. There's no way to rattle his plans, to the point where his knowledge and planning of everything about our hero has become a meme. In the end, it feels amazing to see him finally be rattled and lose it, even for that brief instant. After all that condescending talking about Ichigo being weaker, it was a surreal sight to see Alzen finally face someone that he couldn't just walk over smugly.
Hajime Alzen. 一瞬で終わらせてやる。重くなったな。
Following Ichigo, we have Naruto taking the stage for getting recognized after the pain arc. It's been a long time coming, and it's one of the most satisfying and rewarding moments in the entire Naruto series. For so long, Naruto has been the underdog. Starting off as the noisy, annoying kid who dreamt of becoming Hokage, Naruto's not exactly endeared himself to a lot of people. Along the way, he found no shortage of rivals, was always a step behind his own teammate Sasuke, and just seemed to be delusional. Becoming Hokage was nothing but a pipe dream for this dreamer. Nonetheless, he persevered and he never gave up on his dream. At this point in the story, the dream of becoming Hokage or getting recognized by the village had been put aside in favor of training in order to stop pain and protect the village. Let's just say that he came back looking nothing short of a hero. It was a glorious entrance to save everyone and finally face off against pain in a decisive battle. Brandishing his newly attained sage form, Naruto was able to come out on top and fight pain off. The most cathartic part of this is what happens afterwards though. It's amazing to see him being showered with love and finally becoming everyone's hero. So take that, haters. We've come such a long way, and the hyperactive outcast has finally become a hero.
目の前に英雄がいます。
Next is Takamura's rage against Hawk. The whole arc with Hawk is just one big redemption tour for Takamura. On second thought, I think I've used redemption tour wrong. What is there to redeem when Takamura is already one of the most awesome characters from Hajime no Ippo at that point in the story? Nevertheless, the arc just showcased the amount of struggle Takamura had to go through in order to chase his dreams of conquering multiple weight classes. Not making the first step on his journey easy is his opponent, Brian Hawk. The WBC junior middleweight champion spends most of the arc and the build-up to the eventual fight being a thorn in the side of Takamura, first showcasing his mettle against Takamura in pre-fight confrontations before acting all cocky in the lead up to the fight. This is a man that's continuously mocked him and belittled all his efforts to make it to the bout. Seeing Takamura just unleash his rage on his opponent, as well as the resulting beatdown, just feels so satisfying. The fight, especially from this moment on, is just one of the best moments in Ippo, and it gave me goosebumps to see Takamura finally get his one-up on Hawk. We move on from shonen heroes into light novel adaptation territory. Sword Art Online's War of Underworld gave us Gabriel Miller's death. For most of War of Underworld, we've been told to hate this villain. It's no secret that SAO villains are almost always hate-sigs, but I doubt that anyone can match Gabriel Miller in terms of just sheer evil. While the other guys are just mostly memes that sexually assault women, we have here an actual mass murderer, and a sociopath hiding underneath a cold, calm facade. You wouldn't expect that this guy hired by the Americans to steal Japanese research would have a destructive fascination with the human soul to the point of murdering his childhood friend just to see her soul. The guy dying to Kirito's attack that was powered by the souls of literally everyone in Underworld was satisfying enough, but what comes next is even better. Waking up as a ghost after having physically died, he finds himself reunited with the childhood friend that he murdered. The upbeat reunion would quickly turn ugly though, and he finally finds himself getting dragged off to hell by none other than the thousands of people that he killed just for his sick enjoyment. It's a really scary way to go, but one that someone like him deserved. Yoshikage Kira would be proud.
だから俺から提案だ。王はこれからクズ。第一王女はビッチと名前を改めろ。クズ。ビッチですって。
In a somewhat similar scenario to the last one, we have yet another villain being punished for his sins in Malty's punishment in Shield Hero. I don't know if Malty's worse than Gabrielle Miller, but I'm fairly certain about one thing. She feels more real and relevant. I bet that most of you probably don't know a sociopathic mass murderer who desires to look at people's souls, and if you do, well, I guess you better be careful. In contrast, mine or Malty just feels more real. Manipulative people are everywhere, and fake accusations abound in this chaotic world, which is why I feel slightly more cathartic to see her final judgment and punishment in the last few episodes of Shield Hero. After putting Naofumi through hell and kickstarting his quest for revenge, it feels extra satisfying to see her finally get her comeuppance. Now, I saw a lot of people calling for her head in this scene, and seeing her beg for mercy was all sorts of pathetic. Very fitting for a character like her, I think. Sure, she didn't get killed off due to Naofumi's intervention, but having to live on with her new, unflattering name, and having to live with the fact that everyone knows you're a liar can be a fate worse than death. Hey, at least she still has a Mordred look-alike simping over her, so that's something, right?
オルトクレイヨーをクズ、マルティ王女をビッチ、冒険者名をアバズレと改名させます。
俺に奪わせろ。
Moving on, we take a look at Tokyo Ghoul with a moment courtesy of Kaneki. Doesn't it just feel so cool to see the meek kid get pushed around until he snaps in such a chilling way? Well, not the pushing around part, obviously, but there's really a thing about revenge plots that keep people coming. Tokyo Ghoul's not a revenge plot, but when Kaneki finally snaps at Jason and accepts his ghoul powers, it was a sight to see. For so long, Kaneki had been trying to run away from his identity and his powers. Accepting the fact that he'd become a part of ghoul society wasn't easy, and more so was the truth that he'd become a monster with those violent powers. After a series of torture at the hands of Jason, he finally loses it. Basically, he says that's enough and hands Jason a beatdown like we've never seen in Tokyo Ghoul. The OP playing and Kaneki suddenly taking an edgy language was simply the perfect finale for Tokyo Ghoul. It's a landmark moment that forever changed the landscape of the series, and it gave Kaneki the much needed big win to close out the first season.
仕方ないよね。
お前、その目はなんだい?
Number 4 on our list is a trademark Luffy moment. It's the time when he punched out a celestial dragon. Prejudice is quite the sensitive topic, and it should come as no surprise that anime would be one of the mediums to show us and teach us about quite the relevant topic. In this situation, it's One Piece showcasing how much people look down on races such as the fishmen. The celestial dragons, particularly Charlos, are not a pleasant bunch of people, and this episode more than highlights what a nasty group they can be. Charlos is already quite the unlikable character, but he decides to take it a step further. The breaking point is when he just outright shoots Hachi. Thankfully, Luffy's there to exact revenge for the fishman, and he does so in the most impactful way possible, by punching out the noble. No hesitations, no questions asked. It's a blow that sent shockwaves across the Seven Seas, both in and out of universe. Can't say that Charlos didn't deserve it though. He deserved every little bit of it. Attack on Titan showed us a masterclass on Titan slaying, And who better to show us than humanity's strongest soldier himself? I don't know that stomps can be this satisfying, but Attack on Titan, being the amazing show that it is, managed to do it. I think that context plays a big part here, but as a standalone fight, which I say in air quotes, this moment still feels amazing. I've never been this excited to see a Titan get destroyed, and that's definitely saying something. Perhaps what built up this moment being so gratifying is the sacrifices that were made beforehand. Rousing speeches, glorious charges, all to set up Levi's one-on-one meeting with the Beast Titan. Levi grabbed the baton passed to him and finished with flying colors, methodically cutting down and dicing the Beast Titan from all sides and angles. It was truly a masterclass of unprecedented magnitude. I don't think that anyone was as badass as Levi fighting the Beast Titan, and all of the context behind the moment probably makes this one of the best Attack on Titan episodes, not just in the season, but in the series as a whole. Great anime characters are forever immortalized by trademark moments that everyone will remember them by. In a great series like Fullmetal Alchemist, the major characters all get their time to shine. That goes from the Elric brothers, Scar, and all the way to the more minor supporting characters. Roy Mustang is no minor supporting character, but he just has so many of the cool moments. If I were to pick one of them, I'd argue that the fight against Envy is the best and by far the most satisfying one. Anyway, to cut the story short, having his disguise blown while confronting Riza, Envy simply gets destroyed by the real Mustang. It's not actually the fight itself that's so satisfying, but the vindication after the reveal that took place beforehand about Envy's role in the death of Maze Hughes. I call this a fight versus Envy, but let's be real. This is a slow and methodical execution more than anything else. You can feel the intensity of the aggressive finger snapping with each second, and it's something so fulfilling. I've seen Mustang be cool in a lot of instances, but this has got to be one of the best among such moments. Is there a moment more epic and satisfying than Gon's beatdown on Beatdo? Yep, that's a rhetorical question, but for me, it's the undisputed most satisfying moment in the whole of Hunter x Hunter. Imagine something like the Kaneki moment where the normally nice guy gets pushed to the limit and just snaps, but taken way over the limit this time. You know, I have goosebumps just thinking about that moment right now. When you see Gon's appearance, the overall acting, and the whole atmosphere in the scene, it's just surreal. The resulting beatdown is probably not the best anime fight ever, but when it comes to evoking emotion, this is one of the examples that showcase what peak anime could be. This is truly an amazing moment that furthers Gon's character development and gave us a scene to remember while doing it. It's not every day that you can see the role of hero and villain look as if they swapped for the first time and look so powerful. For that, this moment tops our list. That's it for our list today, the top 10 moments that just feel satisfying and gratifying in anime. What about you? What moments gave you that adrenaline rush out of fulfillment? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so make sure to take your time to type your comments down below. Before leaving, don't forget to hit both the like and the subscribe buttons. Also, feel free to check out my Patreon if you have time as well. I'll surely be able to take this channel to new heights and give you even more anime content in the days to come. I've left a link below, so come drop by if you'd like to support the channel. This will have to do it for now, and I'll be seeing you next time. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.